So what's one honest truth that people need to hear about retirement, but they rarely do?
Mm,
Good question.
that is a good question. That is a good question. I would say the honest truth about retirement that they rarely hear is, and maybe they hear it more because I think there's more accountability around this. But you're never going to retire with the traditional system.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's a hard truth, right? And like if you want to retire, if that's a desire of yours, one day to be able to buy your life back and not rely on the government or Social Security or an employer, you have to highly, highly question the system that you're being forced to go into, or not forced, but like advocated to go into. That is a system based on averages. It's based on the average person, the average life expectancy, the average rate of return, and the average investor. And it's producing average results, which if you look at it, there is a massive, massive, massive retirement problem. But yet people keep doing the same thing, somehow, some way expecting a different outcome. So the truth that I would give them is, don't think that 65 means you can retire. I don't know who came up with that number to begin with, but set a definitive time frame. For me, I love the 10-year idea, and I got that from Robert Allen. He said, if you follow a system, you could retire in 10 years. And I thought, I can do anything for 10 years. Give me the system, right? And so set a shorter time span. I mean, 65, you're letting yourself off the hook, right? I mean, it's not urgent anymore at all. If I'm 25 and I have all the way to 65, I'm not going to measure, I'm not going to account for it. But if it's 10 years, the actions that I'm taking today, man, I got to make those actions count. Otherwise, 10 years doesn't come to fruition.
I also think, Danille, it's an excellent question. One of the things that I don't think people realize, so I certainly didn't until later in life, is I'm either in the game or I'm playing the game. So, and most people are in the game and they don't believe they're in the game. They think they're actually playing it, but they're being played.
Yeah.
And so, I remember that game, the game of life, where you spin around and then you get the kids in the car and you move all around the place. That is in the game. And so once I realized that, if you think about this, all money for all banks, all retirement plans, all insurance policies comes from Main Street. All of it.
Yeah.
It all comes from Main Street. It just flows up into the Wall Street, and then Wall Street gives you this illusion that they need to manage it for you. And so once you realize and you kind of step out of that and say, okay, if that's the way it is, and I'd be interested to see somebody challenge that, because you put money into a bank, it becomes a liability and an expense for the bank. You give money in an insurance policy and you want a return on it, somebody else is managing it for you by investing your money somewhere else. That's how the system is. So once you realize and you step out of that, then now you can say, okay, how can I use that money? How can I use Main Street's money instead of being in the game? I can be playing the game. And I think once that epiphany hit me, I realized that there's no limit to how much you want to play, because Main Street does not know.
I love that. I love that context. And, there's no way out of it. That's why I like talking about the money it's a game. And if it's a game, it's also a game of life, because money is direct correlation to the life I'm trading, the time I'm trading. And man, rather than being played, because if I'm being played, right, someone else is using me to win their life, to win their goals.
Wouldn't you agree that that's what's happening?
It's 100% it.
Yeah.
I mean, think about Wall Street. Wall Street wins whether you win, lose, or draw. It doesn't matter.
They get a fee.
They get
based on the amount they're managing.
Banks win whether you win, lose, or draw. It doesn't matter to them.
Correct.
So this is the biggest epiphany I had, and I love that you've had this epiphany too. I think this is really what it comes down to. If you want to own your life, right? If you want to own your life, you have to own your money. If you want to own your money, you have to own your decisions, right? And if you're willing to own your decisions, for better or for worse, then you can start to raise your financial intelligence. You can get your money off Wall Street and get it onto Main Street. And on Main Street, I call it the ownership economy. I have to take ownership of my life, my money, and my results.
Right.